Welcome back to the Tech Frontiers podcast, episode 244. I'm Jenny, joined as always by my favorite tech enthusiast, Mark, who always seems to have his finger on the pulse of what's really times bubbling up in the industry.
And I am Mark. Thrilled to be here, Jenny. I was just thinking about how sometimes big news sneaks up on you. It's not always a splashy announcement, but then you realize it's actually a weighty deal for the entire industry. This past month has felt like that in the data world. A kind of slow burn that's now a serious fire.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Starburst, right? With their significant executive appointment and then the ASI news shortly thereafter. It almost felt like two separate stories. But they're clearly connected, aren't they?
They are indeed. Starburst made a substantial move in April, appointing Jitender Aswani as their Senior Vice President of Engineering. This individual comes with deep experience in the data space. 20 years at places like Meta and Netflix. Just consider that for a moment.
Meta and Netflix, that's a serious resume. So, what's the big impact of his appointment for Starburst and, more broadly, for, say, AI deployment in general?
Okay, so this is the compelling part. His background isn't just impressive on paper. Aswani has profound experience with distributed systems and, here's the key, AI security. That fusion is vital as businesses increasingly move their AI workloads into the cloud. He's set to lead Starburst's global engineering groups, innovating across their modern data platform for applications and AI. It's all about accelerating AI deployment, which, in today's environment, means speed and trust are paramount.
Speed and trust. I appreciate that framing. So he's coming in to supercharge their existing tech, which, from what I understand, is built on something called Trino. How does his Meta experience with Trino specifically tie into that strategy?
Trino. This is where it gets particularly interesting for me, as a self-professed data nerd. Aswani was one of the early users of Trino, back when it was Presto, at Meta. He observed firsthand how it scaled to handle petabytes of data for real-time analytics, processing immense queries that would choke other systems. So he's not just an executive, he's a deep technologist who knows Trino's capabilities inside and out, understanding its nuances. He understands the complexities of high-performance queries over massive distributed datasets. That unique perspective is what Starburst needs to push their data platform even further, especially for those heavy AI workloads that demand low latency and high throughput.
So he knows the engine, he knows the fuel, and he understands how to make it perform optimally and securely. That makes considerable sense. And then, jumping just a month ahead to May, Starburst unveiled another major development. Their new, AI agent, This sounds like it could alter how businesses actually use their data for AI.
Oh my, the AI agent, This is where the practical application truly shines. We're talking about making data access pervasive. Imagine being able to just times your data lake questions in plain English, using natural language. The Starburst AI agent, automates complex data exploration using natural language processing. It sounds futuristic, but it's available now.
Okay, hold on, let me get this clear. You're suggesting I could, as a non-technical user, bypass a data scientist and just type in a question, and this AI agent would go scour petabytes of data and provide an answer?
Exactly. That's the core vision. It diminishes the need for manual coding or deep SQL knowledge for many tasks. Consider this. A marketing executive aims to determine which demographic responded most favorably to a specific campaign across all their platforms and historical data. They simply inquire. The agent orchestrates the queries, retrieves the data, and presents the insights. And here's a critical component. It does this while integrating with Starburst's governance features. So you're not compromising compliance or security for convenience, which is often a major concern.
That's a significant point about governance. Because often, when you discuss making data access widespread, my immediate thought goes to, potential data chaos. But if it's woven into the system, that's robust. And this all rests on top of what Starburst refers to as its, Lakehouse architecture, correct? What's the advantage of that setup compared to, say, a traditional data warehouse?
Excellent question. The Lakehouse is the bedrock for all this. Picture it as blending the strengths of two established approaches. You gain the cost efficiency and adaptability of a data lake, where you can store all your raw, unstructured data without predefining schemas. But you also receive the structure, governance, and performance benefits of a data warehouse, which emphasizes curated, structured data. It unites them. Data lakes are suitable for raw storage, but they can become unmanageable. Warehouses are structured but can be inflexible and costly. The Lakehouse unifies them, making it suitable for the diverse, often real-time, needs of AI and machine learning workflows in hybrid environments. It's trying to get the best of both worlds, while acknowledging that managing such complex hybrid setups can require sophistication.
So it's not just storing data, it's creating a highly organized, easily accessible, and secure environment specifically designed for accelerated AI development and deployment, and all powered by Trino, which is open source. This brings us back to something we often discuss on the show: competitive advantage and market shifts. What about the potential downsides or considerations for this shift?
Yes, precisely. This move, combining Aswani's leadership with the AI agent and the Lakehouse approach, positions Starburst to really make an impact in the market. The agentic AI capability, as they term it, is set to democratize insights in a way that traditional business intelligence tools might struggle to keep pace with. If you can simply ask your data a question, why would you endure a lengthy report generation process? However, it's worth noting that while empowering non-technical users, reliance on natural language interfaces can introduce ambiguity. The ATI agent might struggle with nuanced queries, potentially leading to incorrect insights, or at least requiring validation from a human expert. So, it's not a complete replacement for human data skills yet, but a powerful augmentation.
That's a fair point. It almost feels like it could make some traditional data roles rethink their everyday tasks. And the open source nature of Trino for Starburst, that's compelling for enterprises that are weary of being locked into proprietary systems with escalating costs. But also, with this democratized access, doesn't that bring a new layer of security and governance concerns?
Absolutely. Enterprises are keen to avoid vendor lock-in. Trino's open-source origins, combined with its ability to query across different clouds and even on-premises systems, what we call federated queries, means businesses aren't obligated to a single vendor. They can select the beneficial storage, the most suitable cloud provider, and still gain a unified view of their data. This reduces complexity and potentially costs, which is a significant competitive edge. It's like they're stating, you don't need to move all your data into our system. We'll query it wherever it resides. Regarding the governance point you just raised, Jenny, that's crucial. While Starburst integrates governance features, and they are critical, increased user access does heighten the risk of sensitive data exposure or compliance violations if policies aren't rigorously enforced. It's a delicate balancing act, isn't it? The trade-off between user-friendliness and strict control is a significant challenge for enterprises, especially those dealing with regulated information. So while it's powerful, it demands robust internal policies and continuous monitoring.
That is considerable. So with Aswani at the helm enhancing the Trino-based platform and these new AI agent capabilities, it feels like Starburst is really leaning into two major trends: the move to more distributed, flexible data architectures and the aggressive push towards making AI accessible across the enterprise. It's going to be compelling to observe what they do next. And listeners, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Would you trust an AI agent to generate business insights without human review? Or perhaps, which of these shifts, democratized data access, Lakehouse architecture, or open-source query engines, do you think will have the biggest impact next year? Let us know on social media.
It truly will be. The way I view it, they're positioning themselves as an essential infrastructure piece for many businesses' AI strategies. It's not simply about building superior models anymore. It's about possessing the data infrastructure that can truly feed those models quickly, reliably, and securely. And that's what Starburst is aiming to deliver. Also, it begs the question, what skills do you think will remain essential, even as natural language querying tools become mainstream? Because, while this is a step forward, the human element isn't going away.
Those are excellent questions for our audience, Mark. This has been a compelling look into some pivotal shifts in the data and AI landscape. Thanks for dissecting it for us.
My pleasure, Jenny. Always enjoyable to dive into this stuff with you.
That's all for episode 244 of Tech Frontiers. We'll catch you next time.